Hi, hello, and welcome to Quantum Healing Hands Tarot. Today we are going to get a special message from our queen, Mistress Isabel Brooks. So, if you aren't a fan or don't watch RuPaul's Drag Race, Mistress Isabel Brooks is a queen that was on season 15, which just recently ended. And she was all about talking about what era she was in, whether it was her winning era or her revenge era. I kind of wanted, and it actually, that verbiage has now become very pop culture. And so I wanted to find out what era you're in. And so we got all the details about that. If you already know which pile you want just from looking, the timestamps are down in the description box. If you need a little bit more help, we can get into some breathing. So we're going to start with 3 deep breaths. Okay, so now that we're nice and relaxed, we can look at our piles. In pile 1, we have a amethyst pendulum. Pile 2, we have an opal pendulum. And in pile 3, we have a aventurine. Green stones can look like so many. So I usually go with my instinct, and that's usually the first one I look at. But I'll still close my eyes and ask my intuition which pile to pick. And very commonly, I'll see a number in my mind's eye as if I was like staring at a light and closed my eyes and the image is there. So that's how I pick my piles. I always suggest to just go with your instinct, but if you need a little bit more time, you can pause the video. If you now know what you want, all the timestamps are down below in the description, and I'll meet you there. Hi, Pile 1. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, Mistress Isabel Brooks, she was definitely one of my favorite queens, and I definitely thought she was going to win. I won't spoil it if you haven't seen season 15 of RuPaul's Drag Race, but she was all about talking about what eras she was in. And so you chose the amethyst pendulum. At the end of the reading, I'll let you ask a yes or no question. So I have, it's going to be a really simple reading, It's going to be a really simple reading today because I'm doing it in 2 parts. So this is part 1. So this is going to be the past, present, and future. So the first is, what is the, what era are you leaving? Like, what era were you in before and you're leaving now? So I feel like you are growing up. That is kind of apparent when these 2 are sitting here. For the era you are not in this era anymore. This is being naive and reckless and bored and just making bad decisions because you are bored. And that's something you've left behind. I feel like this is an era you used to be in. Like, I'm in my foolish era, you know what I'm saying? Where you just did stuff because you had nothing else to do. You had no focus, possibly. And so you're not in that era anymore. That is behind you. Next is, what era are you in now? So right now you're in your keep to myself era. Like, you very possibly didn't, how do I put this? You maybe made a lot of mistakes or hurt a lot of people during this time. And so, truthfully, it doesn't hurt to retreat when we aren't the proudest of the choices we made in the past. So, right now, you're kind of going through this time where you're just keeping to yourself. You're kind of just trying to readjust, refigure, is that the right word? Refigure out, to refigure. That is a word, I think. You're refiguring your life. And also, okay, what I'm seeing is also you're being very, very harsh on yourself for these choices. And life is not so black and white. It's not, this is right and this is wrong. Truthfully, there is a lot of gray area, and you need to accept the mistakes you made before, because it was just that. It was just mistakes. You were in your foolish era. And right now you're kind of in your retreat era, your private era. But let's find out what era you're coming into. Whoa! This is... I'm sorry, but this is pretty cool. Just the lineup, the fours. So what this is saying is that the era you're going to be going into is you're actually going to learn to just let go. And through letting go of trying to control the situation, you're going to receive balance and harmony. Like the Four of Wands is celebration and like marriage and just structure. Like four always makes me think of four legs on a table. Like you can stand on top of that comfortably. Granted, it's built correctly. And so I think you kind of lived this very carefree, like laissez-faire, life is just going to happen. And because you were maybe aimless or just bored or just didn't have that sort of focus, and now you are in this time of just rest and retreat while trying to figure out what choices you made in the past and where they're taking you. And there's a beautiful freedom in letting go, of just not trying to control what's happening. And so the era you're going to be moving into is kind of like finding that mantra that's going to work for you, of like everything works out for good, something like that. Something where you just know that you can't predict the future. As much as we like to do tarot is just kind of looking at very basic roadmaps, and that's why they're always kind of generalized. But if you are self-aware, you should be able to hear this stuff and know where your personal life fits in. So I think you're going to be moving into the era of celebrating this freedom to let life happen as it's meant to. What a super cool reading. Like, it's very possible in the past you weren't able to see the gifts that were right in front of you. And because you just wanted to experience something different. And those experiences did get you to where you're at and make you who you are. So there are no regrets. But maybe you're kind of living in this sort of like, ugh, why did I do all that? Like maybe you racked up like heavy credit card debt or something like that. And now it's just about rest and reconfiguring, because you are going to be, I think to get here, you have to find this sort of freedom to let go. Just finding a way to just release control. All right, so I think I just love how beautiful this laid out. That's so cool. Because it tells such a clear story of like, you went from like this like recklessness to this like hyper control to, oh, I just have to let go. Not careless, not just, you know, risky behavior, but, oh, I want this vision of a happy future, of a stable home and life, and I'm not going to try and control how that comes to me. So, this is my device I use for the pendulum. It's so my hand is not like actually holding it like this. So go ahead and think of a yes or no question, and we will. All right, so think of your yes or no question. So that is a yes. It's a nice, pretty circle. Sometimes it's my hands just get a little shaky and took me a moment, but I wanted to truly like let it center and balance and make its answer. So your answer is yes, pile one. Like I said, this is going to be a 2-part video. So this is just the part one. Thank you, Mistress Isabel Brooks, for bringing us the idea of being in our eras and how we can blossom and become our best self. So this was a simple past, present, and future reading, and I hope you enjoyed it, pile one. The next reading will be up on schedule, so check that out when it comes out. If it's already out, go ahead and click over. That's why I wanted to keep these kind of nice and short, so you guys could watch them at the same time if available. So pile one, thank you so much for joining me. Oh my gosh, I'm not even gonna worry about that, because you know what? I'm letting go. I'm just relaxing. I'm chilling. Thank you so much, pile one, for being here. If you liked this message, I would love for you to give it a little thumbs up. That lets me know that the message resonated. And if you loved it, I would love for you to subscribe and be a part of my channel. It absolutely is an honor every single time I get a new subscriber. I got to 44 today, and that was just, it feels really special. Oh, look, for all your 4s. So I really feel good telling you that then. You are in a stable spot. I'm so happy for you, pile one. Yeah, I hope to see you at future readings. Thank you for joining me, and have a great day. Bye. Hi, pile two. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm really excited to bring you this message from Mistress Isabel Brooks. It's not actually from her. It's just in the theme of everything is about what era you're in. And so I did a simple past, present, and future reading. At the end of the reading, we will do a pendulum. So you can ask a yes or no question. And yeah, let's get started. So the first one is the past. What era were you in before that you are no longer in? So you may have been in the past in a situation where you were processing something that happened. And like, I'm just getting over someone's passing, or someone who left your life, or just something where you've had to actually like mourn the situation. And that's what it is. It's like, I see that you were in this time of like self-discovery, of like figuring out who you were. When major life events happen, it really causes us to look at ourselves in the mirror and, you know, maybe not question ourselves, but ask what we're doing. Sometimes we end up in positions that we aren't particularly happy with. And so it becomes this thing of like, what am I doing? Where am I going? I have to reflect on these choices. And so, but that's the past. So I wanted to know what era you're currently in. Ooh. I'm curious if you're kind of in this very, maybe off-putting. Maybe you are kind of being aggressive towards the world and shutting out the world. I'm just getting that, like, whatever you had to move on from and whatever you had to do to discover who you were, it kind of left you maybe in your bitter era. That's just the energy I'm getting, and this is no shade, all tea. And I'm always wanting to be here to help. My readings are never soft and cushy. And maybe that's why I liked Mistress Isabel Brooks, because she was always so honest, but so helpful. And like, she was willing to help other girls despite wanting to win. She was so confident in her skills that she could still help other people. And I guess that's what it is I'm very confident in what I'm saying, in the way of, I'm not trying to tear anybody down. So I'm always trying to help you build up. And hey, coming out of this era, you have to it's sometimes darkest before the dawn. So let's find out what era you're coming into. See, everything's good. I think you are, regardless of this kind of bitter era you're in, understandable. I kind of see it as a very understandable situation, so please don't see that as an insult. Because what era you're coming into is this is saying like you're going to actually avert disaster, and you're coming into money. So I feel like the era you're going to be coming into is the like, whew, oh my God, I made it through that. And you're going to have the rewards, and you're going to have the future that you knew you were trudging through. Like, I feel like you're in hell right now, and it's like you just have to keep going. And you're going to get out without getting hurt too bad. So I kind of see it as like, you'll be that person who, once you make it through this, will be that person who's like, oh my God, if you're going through hell, you just got to keep going. And you'll be able to give that advice genuinely, truly, because you've done it. And you know what it's like to like be so miserable with where you're at and try and figure out how to change things. And then while you're going through the changes, that in itself is exhausting. But you're gonna make it out of this time where everything is falling apart. Everything is being restructured. Like, you are totally allowed to be a bitter Betty right now, because I see you haven't been really given I want to say a fair hand. I feel like you've kind of been knocked down every single time you've tried to get back up. And in a sick, weird way, it is because you are strong enough, smart enough, talented enough. And the thing is people who go through really hard times always end up happier, stronger, and better than people who don't experience any of that. So it's this thing of like, you're coming into this amazing, amazing time. So embrace how you feel today, because you're not wrong for feeling how you feel. Okay, so this is my little contraption I use. So I'm not actually like holding the pendulum, but so go ahead and think of a yes or no question. Alrighty. Alright. Oh, that's pretty cool. It like stayed like completely still, and then it said yes. So whatever whatever that question was, it's not even a no right now. It's just not happening yet. But I feel like that question was directly related to this, and the answer is yes. So this was a 2-part video. This is the part 1 of what era you're in. Mistress Isabel Brooks is wonderful, and she brings another message that will be up on schedule. So if it's already uploaded, that's why I wanted these to be short, so you could watch them together. And if not, the other one will be up in a couple days. So thank you so much, Pile 2. I loved this reading for you. And don't forget, you got the angel too. You chose the opal with the angel. So made for an angel. So you're meant for great things. You are special. Pile 2, just trust that it's all coming to you. So thank you so much for being here. If you like this message, I would love for you to give it a little thumbs up. That lets me know that the reading resonated. And if you love it, I would love for you to subscribe and be a part of my channel. It has been an absolute honor. I reached 44 subscribers today, so that just feels super exciting, and I just really appreciate everyone joining and being here. So I hope to see you in the future, and have a great day. Bye. Hi, Pile 3. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited to bring you this message from Mistress Isabel Brooks, or at least her energy, of what era are you in? So I did a 3-part reading, past, present, and future. At the end, I'll let you ask a yes or no question for the pendulum. Is there anything else? I think I usually give too much intro for Pile 1 and not enough for Pile 3. So I always say whatever happens is meant to happen. So Pile 3, let's get into it. What era are you, like, what was your past era? Interesting. So you've been doing good. This is not a bad era to be coming out of. Like, maybe you've been working towards for a long time, finding your confidence and strength in going after your goals and succeeding. But this is just making me too excited. I want to find out. Ooh. So I feel like you've taken a long time to figure out who you are, and like I said, discover this confidence and strength. And now you're kind of just retreating and coming into a place of like, what I just heard is like, when you become awakened to reality and human nature, sometimes we end up being very lonely, because when you realize you've maybe like let friends in that have hurt you or weren't good for you, because through finding confidence, you will eliminate people who aren't good for you. And so you're kind of, you probably feel a little lonely right now, of just like, and maybe not even like, I don't think he seems sad that he's alone in his lab working, but so yeah, you may be kind of done with being alone. Like, I feel like you've figured it all out. I feel like you know all the options that you want. And I see the universe kind of bringing you what you have been looking for. That's funny. No, stay. There's definitely going to be a redirection and a rediscovery of what it is you want. I feel like you had to, it's sort of, this energy in the past was like, oh, I got it all. I have the best friends in the world. Life is perfect. And maybe you kind of discovered like, oh, that was just very young, foolish thinking. You used to be in the era of like, oh, I got it all. I have everything figured out. And now you're in this kind of like isolated, what am I doing with myself? Like maybe a lot less confident. And the era you're going to be moving into in the future is, what is that called? It's not even just like a glow up. It's like, because the 3 options I wrote is like winning, glow up, and revenge. And I kind of feel like they're all of them. Like, you're going to be coming into this era of like, oh, you know what? Why was I sleeping on myself? Forget other people. Why was I sleeping on myself? Like, you're going to start watering your own garden rather than looking at the grass is always greener on the other side kind of thing. You're going to kind of have a rebirth of who you are. So if you're feeling sad and alone and isolated right now, have no stress and no worry. You're glowing up. So what I don't think I really was highlighting about this is literally you're going to be walking away from something that you kind of have been with for a long time. Like, you know, maybe you've been living somewhere for a long time and you're just like, you know, I'm done. I want to leave. Because the 8 of Cups is like when you're fed up. Like, you know what? I'm done. And the death card is like, and I am totally willing to just let it go, because you know that from every death is a rebirth. So you maybe used to be in this very confident era of like feeling like you had everything under control. And now you're kind of in this isolated daydreaming state of like, how I want my life to be. And you're going to be coming into that time very soon where you're just going to get up and walk away from the crap. So let's find out what the answer to your yes or no question is. This is my little contraption, so I don't actually like hold it with my hand. Think of your yes or no question. Okay, so the answer is no. Very curious what it was for you. So, pile 3. So this is a two-parter. This is the first part of what era you're, coming out of, in, and going into. And I'll have the second part up in a couple days on schedule. So I just really hope you were able to... Mistress Isabel Brooks was always a very honest and upfront and frank person. And that is honestly one of my favorite things about her. And so I hope you were able to get the truth from this, and hopefully a little bit of guidance of just knowing that you're gonna be fed up with whatever it is that's hurting you, and there are better days ahead. So that's what I see for you. Pile 3. I just really appreciate you coming and being here and letting me... Oh, I didn't even read that. 5, 6, 7, 8. Or not 5, but yeah. 6, 7, 8. That is so cool. I didn't even notice that. I love that. Oh, whoops. Pile 3, thank you so much for joining me. If you like this message, I would love for you to give it a little thumbs up. That lets me know that the reading resonated. And if you loved it, I would love for you to subscribe and be a part of my channel. It's just been an absolutely amazing journey. I reached 44 subscribers today. So it is an absolute honor and dream every single time I gain a new one. So I hope to see you in the future, and have a great day. Bye.